Meeting come to order, please. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act for this meeting have been satisfied. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Rich, would you call the roll, please?
Mayor Becker.
Here.
Commissioner Amadeo.
Here.
Commissioner Blumberg.
I'm here.
We have before us for approval our minutes of our last meetings. What is your pleasure?
I'll make a motion we approve those minutes.
Second.
Rich?
Mayor Becker.
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo.
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Okay. At this point, we'll open for public comment. You have 3 minutes. You can speak on any subject.
Steve Altman, 9003 Amherst Avenue, Margate. Having listened to discussions about dredging and discussions about the master plan, and I have spoken to a number of you personally, but I wanted to get it on the record. It seems to me to be grossly unfair to citizens who own property not on the bay to be paying for dredging, which affects the property values of people who live on the bay, but doesn't affect our property values who don't live on the bay. Concurrent with that, those of us who don't live on the bay have no access to the bay, fundamentally. And with regard to the master plan, at this point, there could be some discussion about making property that the city owns accessible to people who have small boats and would like to access the bay. If we're all going to pay for the dredging, it makes sense to make something available to the rest of us. It's not like arguments that have been presented to me that we all pay for our schools because at one time or another we have children going through the schools. This is really something where the property values of people who live on the bay are going to be supported by all of us. And I've had a conversation with the tax assessor that at this time houses along the bay are selling for far more than their assessed value. So it's not like what I'm suggesting would adversely affect our tax base. It just seems to be equitable that some plan include allowing people with small boats to be able to get into the bay since we're all paying for the dredging. And if any of you have thoughts along this line, I'd be grateful to listen to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Anyone else?
That's fair.
Sewell 22 West Drive. Mayor, the 2017 calendar with its statements by this commission shows a great disregard and disrespect for the property taxpayers. The finance minister declared the city pulled down an additional $35 million in tax rateables and is on course for an even greater tax rateable base increase for 2017. Mayor, you yourself go on to crow that these huge spikes in tax rateables have gone on for at least 10 consecutive years, unmatched and unprecedented in New Jersey. Such assertions beg the question, why haven't property taxpayers realized any reduction in property taxes? Not even one measly mill. This is outrageous and this is unconscionable. Mayor, do note that Brigantine has had 2 reductions in property taxes back to back, while Margate taxpayers have been stiffed and screwed. Mayor, these humongous multi-million-dollar McMansions have been popping up everywhere like the mushrooms after a warm summer's rain. As each rancher and summer bungalow gets torn down, it marks one less affordable housing unit for a family with school kids. Yet, Mayor, you and your cohorts refuse to adjust school spending and instead keep rubber stamping a ridiculously bloated school budget year after year. Now your inexperienced superintendent wants to engage in bonded indebtedness to refurbish not one, but 2 schools. Isn't it about time for some adult supervision here? Wasn't Deanie brought on board to dramatically curtail bonded indebtedness? Very soon the Board of Estimate hearing will be held in March. My question, Mayor, is when will you man up and do what needs to be done? Ross, with very little third-floor repurposing, could easily hold the entire student populations with plenty of room to spare. Mayor, your hand-picked school board has no intention of scaling back and right-sizing the physical plants. Mayor, you've taken a solemn oath to provide a thorough and efficient education, but you have failed to keep your sworn word. You have lied and deceived the taxpayers. The county superintendent rightly singles out Margate for miserably failing all 7 indicators of efficiency. This is intolerable, and you are personally responsible for this fiasco and snafu. Mayor, keep your word and close tie this June of 2017.
Thank you, John. He likes me. Any other public comment? Sure.
Art Cortilli, 114 North Lancaster Avenue. I have these results from the Park mathematics exam that was given, and I have a couple of comments on them, and that's why I handed this out, so probably you guys can follow it. First of all, you have exceeding expectations, level 5, and meeting expectations, level 4. Now, they do this, the politically correct thing, on the next 3. They say it's approaching expectations, partially meeting expectations, not yet meeting, to me, they're all not meeting expectations. So the only 2 you were really concerned with are meeting expectations and exceeding expectations. And if you look at 2015, for grade 3, 3rd graders, this is the first time they've ever been allowed to take the Park test. They've never been exposed to this kind of testing, and yet they end up with 53 meeting expectations and 20 exceeding. That's 73%. And nowhere down that same column do they add up to 73%. So in other words, they did better in the 3rd grade, straight off the cuff, no additional training in the 4th, 5th, 6th grades, and did the whole school in. And if you look at 2016, they knocked it out of the park. The same 3rd grade got over 95% between meeting and exceeding expectations. And nowhere down that column do they come close to that. So it looks like I would want my kid to go to 3rd grade and then transfer, because it looks like there's a heck of a great 3rd grade teacher there, or a 2nd grade teacher there. And if you look at 2016, the 4th grade is 60 and 10 for 2016. That's 70%. That means 30% more do not even meet the level 4. So what are we doing in our school? I mean, the same for 5th grade, 70. So 30% of our kids don't even meet expectations. We're not doing too well in that. So they tell you not to look at the algebra or the 8th grade. They said because some of the 8th graders pulled out and took the algebra, and I guess they'll brag that they got 90-something% in the algebra.
100, John, or 100 passed.
100, yes. And you would think, why not? In fact, I'd question why 35% of them got just meeting expectations. If you're going to volunteer, first of all, this is a voluntary thing. So, I mean, not voluntary, but you can opt out. So now, here's these people who are opting in and then saying, I want to take the algebra one. Well, they're not going to be the kids who don't think they're going to do well. They're going to be top-notch. And there, you know, well, we got 100% meeting or exceeding. But one-third of them are just meeting the expectations. That could be, I don't know, 5 out of 15. They don't tell you what the percentage is. So that's pretty lousy. So with that, I want to I don't see my 3 minutes ticking down. So, not that I have another 3 minutes, but it's pretty close. I just want to say another thing, that the school's supposed to come up with some sort of plan. And the only plan I've seen is the plan that they put in the paper. I think John was referring to it. And it does talk about bonded indebtedness to give us a break so we pay for the maintenance of both buildings over many years, so it wouldn't hurt us so much. But I keep thinking to myself, why would you want to pay for both buildings when you're doing studies to see which building you might want to close? So why would you want to fix up this building long-term even? So the plan is nowhere even thought of. I think they should be. I know they're doing studies, but nothing ever happens. One of the other things he mentioned was he was going to watch the kindergarten and first graders. He didn't say for what, but over what period of time, I don't know. So that could be years before he even comes up with a plan. So with that, I rest it. And thank you very much, and have a nice holiday.
Thank you. Art, you know what's coming because you and I have had this discussion before.
Yes.
This new park is somewhat confusing, but the only one that you really can make sense of is this graph. This compares Margate against the state averages in mathematics and English English language and literacy, okay, from grades 3 to grades 8. In every category, Margate far exceeds the state average. Now, I don't want to stand here and read all the numbers, but you can see...
I believe you. We also exceed the state average.
The red is the state, the blue is Margate. By far, our children perform great, they really do. Okay.
Yes, and we surely exceed them by $600,000 per year above the state average for spending in maintenance, which is the two buildings expenditure. But anyway,
A whole different story.
you know, you bring up a good point, and I think, though, that we should expect that anyway of our children. I mean, I don't think we should compare ourselves to Newark, New Jersey, or Cayman, New Jersey, or whatever else helps bring their average down. I think we're better than that. And I think when you have one-third of your students who took the algebra not even meeting expectations, I mean...
Thank you. Anyone else?
Steve Warner, 103 North Sumner Avenue. I'd like to take umbrage with Mr. Sewell's idea to close Thai School. I agree that there should only be one school, but I think it should be Thai School, and I think that Ross School should be closed. But maybe a study should be done to find out which one's the best. But I think it'll be Thai. So that's my one thing I have to say. And the other thing that I'd like to say is that, you know, it's all well and good to help out Longport with the library, but, you know, we're always helping. I mean, they helped us a little bit, fine, but it seems like we help them all the time. And maybe they don't even need a library. Maybe they should just use the Margate Library, but I think that they should pay. You know, their taxes are $600 and some thousand toward their library, and if they want to use our library, I think that's fine, but why not chip in some money and, you know, use our library? Maybe you don't even need one. or something like that. But, like, just to come here and use our library for 2 years or whatever it's going to be, I don't, I'm like to help a fella out and all, but it seems to me that they're constantly freeloading on Margate. I mean, they've done a couple things, but it seems to me we do twice as much as they do, or 3 times as much. And I just think we should, help them out a little bit, but then maybe expect maybe a couple $100,000 a year or something, or more, or maybe get the $600,000 that they have to take anyhow. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Steve. Anyone else, public comment? Is there a motion to close public
I'll
comment?
move to close public comment. I'll second that.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
At this point, we'll open public comment on resolutions. Is there any public comment on resolutions?
Fred Verna, President, Margate Terrace Corporation. On the agenda tonight,
We're just extending.
Mayor and Commissioner, you have a resolution and an ordinance that will, in fact, help the Margate Terrace and the
We can meet the state's requirements.
68 seniors that live in that low-income housing to advance their living conditions through a refinancing program that my board has entered into. The resolution and ordinance is necessary in order to have this refinancing done. The property will be completely renovated. Every apartment will be renovated. And more work will be done in the building. Specifically, I'd like to thank Scott. He's done a lot of work with our attorney on the ordinance and the resolution. And specifically, I'd like to thank Commissioner Amadeo for helping out with another issue that we had that was overlooked many, many years ago. So with your kind indulgence, I would appreciate the resolution and the ordinance being passed tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. Any other public comment? Is there a motion to close this public comment?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Thank you. Rich, do you want to continue with introduction of the ordinance, please?
There's an ordinance for introduction, an ordinance of the City of Margate City, Atlantic County, New Jersey, providing for the leasing of municipal real estate to Margate Terrace Corporation, a nonprofit corporation, and prescribing the terms and conditions of said lease agreement.
I'll make that motion. I will second it.
Rich, we have an ordinance to be introduced. Ordinance 26.
He did that.
We did?
Yeah.
That's what we just did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're going to, now you need to call the roll.
Call the vote.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Resolution.
This second reading. You have another ordinance here, Mayor and Commissioners, Ordinance 25 of 2016. I believe this is the second reading. It amends the fees of our medical services and basic life support services and transportation.
That's right.
We passed it.
It's on here. We done with this, or do we have a second reading?
I think
we had a second.
I think we did that last time,
We
right?
did that last.
It's in my packet. Okay.
We're having a little discussion here, but I think if you notice on the agenda, there's a blank there. That's a typo carryover from the last agenda.
Oh, sorry.
That blank, just in case we had one, which we don't have one. Thank you.
Okay. Want to do resolutions, Rich, please?
Resolution number 225, approval of 2017 commission meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All right, Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo? Commissioner
Yes.
Blumberg?
Yes.
Resolution 226, authorizing payroll and claims.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
227, authorizing rejection of bids for municipal building playground upgrades.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
228, authorizing tax assessor to file corrective appeals.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
29, are we up to authorize an extension of abatement agreement between Margate Terrace Corporation and Margate City?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
230, authorizing extension of Remington, Vernick, and Wahlberg post-Sandy 2 grant contract for an additional 6 months.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
231, authorizing credit cards and signatories.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
232, authorizing receipt of bids for the Beach Bulkhead Access Project.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
233, authorizing a transfer of budget appropriations.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
234, authorizing the use of surplus vehicles for the purposes of the fire department training.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
235, authorizing the reappointment of Hank Rovellard, Esquire, Special Tax Counsel.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Number 236, authorizing the purchase of a 2017 Ford Expedition under New Jersey Contract A88728, which is a state contract awarded to Cherry Hill Winter Ford.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Thank you, Rich. Is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Thank you again, everybody, and happy holidays.
You heading south anytime soon?
Tomorrow morning.
Really? You lucky dog.
Tomorrow morning.